What if I told you that while your family was mocking your business cards and calling you a failure, you were secretly building a $300 million empire? And what if the company your arrogant brother just got hired at was actually yours? This is the incredible true story of Elizabeth. And trust me, the revenge she serves is absolutely ice cold. Picture this scene. Elizabeth walks into her parents' house, fresh from closing the biggest deal of her life. Her business cards are scattered across the floor, while her older brother James literally grinds his expensive shoe into them, laughing. Strategic innovation consultant? Stop pretending to be something you're not, he sneers. Now here's what makes this even more brutal. James is celebrating landing his dream job as executive vice president at some hot tech company. The whole family's throwing him a party, talking about how he's finally the successful one. Meanwhile, Elizabeth is picking up her trampled business cards, listening to her own mother ask if she's still doing that freelance thing. But here's what they don't know, and this is where it gets absolutely insane. Elizabeth didn't just close any deal that day. She had just signed the papers to buy James's new company. The entire thing. She now owns the place where her brother thinks he's going to be the big shot executive. Let me back up and tell you how we got here. For 3 years, Elizabeth's family thought she was barely scraping by as a freelance consultant. They had no clue that she'd taken her grandmother's inheritance, just $1 million, and turned it into a massive holding company worth over $300 million. While James was bouncing between jobs and living off their parents' money, Elizabeth was quietly buying companies left and right. She called her company Aurora Ventures, and it was like the ghost of the business world. Everyone knew the name, but nobody knew who was behind it. So there she is, listening to James brag about his new position. "Face it, little sister," he says, "consulting is just a fancy word for unemployed." He's waving around his shiny new business cards with Executive Vice President printed in gold, talking about how he's going to transform the company. Elizabeth just smiles and says, "I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot of each other very soon. If only he knew what that meant." The weekend before James starts his new job is pure comedy gold. The family group chat is blowing up with congratulations. Their dad is forwarding articles about the company. Their mom is gushing about his corner office with a view of the Space Needle. Even the cousins are celebrating finally having someone important in the family. Meanwhile, Elizabeth is sitting in her penthouse office, reading every message while planning the most epic corporate takeover reveal in history. She's got the whole thing choreographed. James starts Monday morning, gets settled in, probably fires a few people to show his authority. And then at 10 a.m. sharp, there's a company-wide meeting to introduce the new owner. But wait, it gets better. James, being James, sends Elizabeth one final dig. "Should I save you a janitor's closet at my new company?" Perfect for consulting. He adds a winking emoji because he thinks he's so clever. Monday morning arrives, and James shows up ready to conquer the world. He's already making demands, repainting his office, firing senior managers left and right. The guy's on a power trip before he's even officially started. He even sends a company-wide email about his vision for transformative leadership. At exactly 10 a.m., Elizabeth walks into that auditorium. 500 employees are packed in there. James is sitting front row with their parents, probably expecting some rich businessman to walk out and praise his hiring. The CEO takes the stage and says, "Please welcome our new owner and CEO, Elizabeth Harrison." The silence that follows is absolutely deafening. James's coffee mug literally slips from his hands and shatters on the floor. Their mother's hand flies to her throat. Their father goes from red to completely white in about 2 seconds. But Elizabeth? She's cool as ice. She walks to that podium like she owns the place, which of course she does. She thanks everyone for coming, explains that Aurora Ventures now owns 67% of the company, and then delivers the line that probably haunted James for months. Some of you may have received an email this morning about transformative leadership. That transformation begins now, though perhaps not in the way some expected. Then she drops the bomb. That executive vice president position James was so excited about? Eliminated. Gone. Restructured right out of existence. She suggests maybe he could apply for a junior analyst position in IT, since he took that coding course in college once. The humiliation is complete when security has to escort the entire family out of the building. James is stammering about his office, his business cards, his reputation at the country club. Their parents are in complete shock, realizing that the daughter they'd been treating like a failure just revealed herself as a business empire. But here's what I love most about this story. Elizabeth didn't do this just for revenge. She actually transformed the company. Within weeks, innovation was flourishing, employee morale shot through the roof, and the stock price jumped 30%. She proved that real leadership isn't about fancy titles or corner offices. It's about vision, strategy, and actually knowing what you're doing. The aftermath is equally satisfying. James starts posting vague LinkedIn updates about exploring new opportunities while quietly applying for entry-level jobs. Their parents alternate between emotional appeals and threats, trying to get Elizabeth to give James another chance. But she's done playing their games. A month later, Elizabeth gets invited to speak at her old business school about redefining success and breaking away from traditional paradigms. And you know what she uses as visual aids? Those crumpled business cards James threw on the floor. The ones that said strategic innovation consultant that he mocked so brutally. The real kicker is the text she gets from her grandmother, the only person who knew the truth all along. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just proving them wrong. It's proving yourself right in ways they can't ignore. Now here's what this story teaches us. Success doesn't always look the way people expect it to. While James was obsessing over job titles and impressing people at the country club, Elizabeth was building something real. She understood that true power doesn't come from having your name on a fancy business card. It comes from owning the company that prints them. Elizabeth's story shows us that sometimes the people who doubt you the most are the ones closest to you. But instead of letting that break her down, she used it as fuel. Every time they called her a failure, every time they dismissed her dreams, she just worked harder and smarter. The most beautiful part? She didn't need their validation anymore. She had built something incredible while they were busy judging her for not fitting their narrow definition of success. And when the moment came to reveal the truth, she did it with such class and power that nobody could deny what she'd accomplished. So the next time someone dismisses your dreams or tells you you're not successful enough, remember Elizabeth's story. Sometimes the best response isn't arguing or defending yourself. It's just quietly building your empire and letting your results speak for themselves. What do you think? Have you ever had someone completely underestimate you only to be shocked by what you achieved? Drop your stories in the comments, because I absolutely love hearing about people who prove their doubters wrong in the most epic ways possible. If this story inspired you to keep pushing toward your goals, even when people don't believe in you, smash that like button and subscribe for more incredible, true stories of people who turned their setbacks into comebacks. Trust me, the next story I've got lined up will blow your mind even more than this one. Remember, success isn't about impressing others. It's about building something meaningful and having the patience to let your work prove your worth. Elizabeth understood that, and that's exactly why she won.